Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into the episode of TheWunderkindShow. Today's first topic, Baltimore Ravens depth chart is out. Look. Guys, let me be frank. We watched the stadium practice. A lot of us got excited about certain players. A lot of us said, these players could, given opportunity, going to step up and make big contributions. Some of us said, O-line looked shaky. Defensive line looked very, very good. But at the end of the day, all that matters is what the coaches think. Because no matter how much we think a player should start or play, the final say is on the coaches. Hence why I'm so glad that I can show you guys the depth chart. Because there's some questions for this depth chart that actually that I have. Like, I'm looking at some of it and I'm like, that don't seem right to me. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you not the video, but the picture of it. And we're going to go over it because I want to see how some of them people are, where they're at. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to have to kind of go like this because it takes up so you guys can read it. Big portion of the screen. But look at this. Look at this. So, the two top receivers is Zay and Bateman. DeAndre Hopkins is behind Bateman for the X position. Right? No problem. Tylen's behind Zay Flowers, like I told you guys it would be. And then, after DeAndre Hopkins is Devontae Walker. LeJohntay Webster is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's like the 8th receiver on the depth chart. The 8th. I really want you guys to look at this. Look where Devontae Walker is. And you guys think there will be enough touches for him? Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem at all. Okay? QB, of course, Lamar. You got Cooper Rush. Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell. I want y'all to see this real quick because Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell are both like, matter of fact, I got to make this a little smaller because, geez, like, my gosh. That's better. When you're looking at, where was I saying? Where was I at? My bad, guys. When you're looking at Keaton and Justice, right? We know they're going to get rushing opportunities. But what makes them dynamic is their ability to catch. They're going to have so many targets, receiving targets. Not to mention the receiving targets Zay's going to have, Rashad's going to have, Tylen's going to get, DeAndre Hopkins is going to get. When we go 11 personnel, right, 3 wide receivers, Zay, Rashad, and DeAndre Hopkins are going to be the ones out there. Now, if one of them are hurt or if one of them need a moment of rest, a reprieve, Tylen Wallace will step in. But this is like he got 5 or 6 receivers ahead of him. That's not including the targets that are going to go to the tight ends. Isaiah Likely is out. He's still considered the second tight end of the team. Mark Andrews is considered first, which is crazy to me. It's not crazy, but you know what I mean. Charlie Kolar's third string. Then, of course, you got defense. Nnamdi Madubuike, you got him. Travis, Broderick, Washington. I was wondering why Broderick is starting. I said, okay, Broderick Washington Jr. starting. Odafe Owe, Roquan Smith, Trenton, Simpson, Kyle Van Noy, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Marlon Humphrey. Jair Alexander, Marlon Humphrey. So Jair is actually behind Marlon. So your two top are Nate and Marlon. Then you got Jair, which is kind of crazy because when Jair comes in, I would kick Marlon inside where he shines better. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at all this is going. I'm like, man. Kick returner, Justice Hill. Punt returner, Talon Wallace. Backup for the kick return is Keaton Mitchell. Backup for the punt returns, Anthony Miller. Guys, this is what I was trying to tell you. Like, how are these guys, some of these guys, going to get what you believe should be their targets? How? How? Going over this thing, I'm looking at like how? And that's my thing, right? We can think and believe all we want to, but at the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what matters. But I said it this morning in the Wonder Kid Morning Show. I said that where these guys are going to be fighting for yards, those yards are going to come on the attempts to get closer for field goals. I want you to understand something, right? I believe is it 15 yards? I believe it is. Let me make sure I'm right on that. If you kick from the 30, how long? I believe it's another 10 yards, right? I believe it is. I'm going to make sure I look it up right now. But I'm looking it up because I don't want to be wrong. See, it says, so if it's from the 40-yard line, the attempt would be 57 yards. Once again, I knew I was right. So, okay. So then it's 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, right? Then you add 10 for the distance to the goal line. From the goal line to the field goal, the uprights. So that's why I said when I was saying, so because this is math. So if we get, 40-yard line is a 57-yard kick. That they don't want to be kicking from 57. You understand? They don't want to be kicking from 57. So they got to get it to about 25, 27, somewhere around there, which will give it around 40 yards right there. That's the highest they want to get. So when we get past that half mark, we can't even, getting to the 30 isn't even enough. We got to get closer than that. We have to. We got to get over pretty much, they would like to get to no shorter than the 20-yard line using the kicker that we got. Has a 37-yard field goal from 20. You do the math. So you see what I'm saying? So if we're looking at this and saying, well, what about those extra yards when back then we would have Justin Tucker and Tucker would just boom it away. I don't pressure it. Tucker get it from 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, and I have no problem. Those days are gone. You're not going to want this guy to kick from 60. You're not going to want him to kick it from 50. That's what I'm trying to get through to everybody's head. So those extra yards that come from that, they're going to be fighting over them. That's what Tez Walker's going to be fighting for. That's what Keaton Mitchell's going to be fighting for. Y'all can do the math all you, even if you said you got in the scoring range, let's say 4 or 5 times for the game, right? Once again, we average 28 points, I believe, a game with Lamar Jackson as our quarterback. You understand? That's you scoring 4 times. 4 times. So you might be looking at getting into that about 5 times. So let's say every game you got to put in an additional, because you got to get closer, right? Now some of those might turn into scoring plays, because you might have to go for it and get it as close as possible. You might throw it in and get a touchdown, stuff like that. But once again, that mindset of we can settle right here, it's okay, let's just take the points, that's got to be gone. And that's looking like an extra 40, 50 yards a game. Think about it. 50 times 17, 850. If it's more than that, like if they had to get 20 extra yards each time, that's 60, right? Now you're looking at 1,020 yards extra that they would have to get over a 17-game year to add on to be able to either kick closer field goals or to try to take it in the score. Because I don't think they're going to want to punt. Say, oh, we're going to give it to the defense. We're at the 40. We're at the 40. We're at the opponent's 38. Let's punt it away. Nah. Extra points. Extra yards. More food for them to eat from. This is why I said I believe Lamar's passing numbers are going to go up. That's why I believe that. Because how will it not? You know what I mean? I want to make sure I hammer that point home. Because if he throws for 4,400, 4,500 yards, you would know why. You would know why. But what do you guys think? What did you think about the depth chart? Do you agree with it? Or do you disagree with where some of the people are on it? Let me know what you think down in the comment section, please. All right? But as always, that's the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. Now we get down, we have fun, and we laugh. But everything we talk about, we're doing what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, guys. Leave a comment. You know I love the comments. If you haven't already done so already, check out the Wunderkind Morning Show live Monday through Thursdays, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., where we touch on all our topics of sports. And we bring up a little bit of nostalgia trivia at the end to bring up stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s to put a smile on your face. Be there, be square, guys. Also, tomorrow, we are going live with Team Keep It Clean, Ingraven himself. First time being on, second time being on, working with me, right, on the channels. First time being on the Wunderkind Morning Show, and it's going to be live. So, guys, make sure you're there for that. And the very next day, we have Cordell Woodland coming in, giving us some background on what's going on in camp, what he got going on, and everything else. So, we got some stuff going to support, all right? Support and subscribe. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, help out with equipment and just stuff like that, bottom of the screen, QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is $, The Wunderkind Show. Super easy. But that's the episode of The Wunderkind Show. This show is not just signing off, and as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Huh? Yeah.
Finish him, Daddy.
Mama.